Hey, Richard Beach here from Solid State Amped. Hope you're doing well. Today we're looking at the Boss Flanger BF-3 as part of our bite-sized review series. So we're doing 30 bite-sized reviews of Boss pedals. We're on to the BF-3, the big brother, or the little brother I guess, because it's been out less time than the BF-2, which is a legendary flanger pedal from Boss. It's got some features on it that weren't in the BF-2, so let's have a look at what those are first of all. What I'm going to do is show you my dry signal, so I'm on a distorted sound because I think flange always sounds best when you're distorted and it sounds like a jet. But here's my... So what's happening there is that I'm on the gate/pan setting. Obviously panning isn't really working because I'm in mono. So what I get with the gate is this cutting in and out effect with the flanger. So it's coming in, it's coming out, and it has a similar sort of sound to a square wave tremolo. I really like it. It's creative and you can do loads of stuff with it. You can play really simple things and it sounds cool. But let's go for a more classic flanger sound. We'll put it on standard mode and have a test of how that sounds. I'm going to go for a fairly slow rate and about 3 o'clock on the depth. What we've got going on over here is a split pot, as Boss seem to like to do. We've got resonance, so I'll twist this around whilst I'm playing something so you can see what that is affecting. But basically those high resonant frequencies you can get from flanger pedals, the ones that make it sound like a jet taking off, you can get more of them with that resonance knob. And a manual knob here, which basically you can manually select the frequencies that your flanger is operating in. So you can have it going towards higher frequencies, or you can have it sort of thundering in those low frequencies. So, really unmistakable flanger sound. It's sometimes an issue I find in flanger pedals, same with all modulation pedals, that sometimes you can't get enough of the effect out of it if you want to go really crazy. With this pedal, you can definitely get enough of the effect out of it. It's also got this ultra mode, which is basically sort of like an even more hyped up, crazy flanger sound. I'll show you what that sounds like now. So I'm on the exact same settings as I was before. I'll switch between standard and ultra. So there's a very minute difference between them, and that is you tend to get more of those scooping upwards. You seem to get a bit more from ultra. It just seems to cut through the mix a little bit more. I'm going to go on to ultra now and play around with it a little bit more. Take the manual and the resonance down to halfway. I'll do the same with the depth and the speed. Okay, and one last feature is the Momentary Flounder, which is actually pretty hard for me to demonstrate while it's up here on the table. But it basically means that the flanger is controlled by the foot switch. So there's no effect whilst you're not pressing down on the flanger. And then as soon as I take the pressure off of the foot switch, the flange goes away again. So it means that if you just want it in part of a riff, then that's exactly what you can do. Pretty useful actually, because you might not necessarily want it swamping every single passage of a riff. So this is a really cool flanger pedal. I'm really impressed by it. I'm massively into space rock, Hawkwind and stuff like that, so anything that channels that sort of vibe is okay in my books. The only downside is the colour. Purple is not perhaps the coolest colour to have on a pedal board, but you know, it's in keeping with the Boss design and the classic Boss flanger look, so why not?